I went up to her and introduced myself. I said, my name is Noemi. She says, my name is Noemi too. Mi nombre es Noemi Barrera. Soy la organizadora principal de la campaña de los trabajadores agrícolas con el local 338 aquí en Riverhead.
Mi nombre es Noemi Sánchez. Soy la coordinadora asociada de Rural Migrant Ministry aquí en Riverhead y trabajo con los trabajadores agrícolas.
Our direct connection happened about 2 years ago, which was January 2020, so maybe around October, November?
November, yes, 2019.
A couple months before the law took
Maybe
effect.
just give us a brief overview of what does the Farm Worker Fair Labor Practices Act do?
Farm workers, for example, they're denied the right to a day of rest, they're denied disability insurance, they're denied protection when bargaining collectively, they're denied overtime pay. This act rights an over 80-year wrong that denies farm workers equal rights in New York City.
We knew off the bat the Fair Labor Practice Act was taking effect January 1st of 2020, so we wanted to prepare ourselves to educate the community. A lot of them had no idea this law took effect and that they were going to have the same rights as any other worker. Additionally, the right to unionize.
Working 80 hours a week. They think they come and work a few years and they go back to Mexico. And I say, how long you be here? And they say 20, 30 years. And I say, why you're involved in the movement? You need to know your rights.
I went out into the community. I saw that I wasn't engaging a lot of people, or if I was, it was very minimal. So I had to figure out a way to kind of get to know these people better. I started talking to Noemi. I made a connection with Father Gerardo, and there was a need for an ESL teacher, and I volunteered to do that. And I was able to meet a lot of people, a lot of farm workers specifically. And if they weren't farm workers themselves, somehow they were connected to farm workers. It could have been their sister, brother, sister-in-law, and that's how I was able to start and make connections.
For myself, my other way to connect with them is by the phone. I make a reflection every Monday and I send it to them, and I have a good way to connect with them. My face is more here and Noemi Barrera's face is more in here, but everybody we working together. What I'm saying we is Noemi, Yadira, Maria del Mar, Padre Gerardo, Ángel is here too.
Yo fui trabajadora agrícola, entonces conozco farms, conozco greenhouse, nurserías, de todo tipo de trabajo conozco. Por eso, cuando me dieron la oportunidad de trabajar con la UFCW, me gustó porque es prácticamente ayudar a los mismos como yo, ¿no? Los trabajadores respecto a la unión, pues les aporta mucho, les ayuda a poder ejercer su derecho de alguna manera, y por medio de Rural Ministry, pues información, ¿no? Sobre todo lo que pasa alrededor de la comunidad.
Sometimes we don't know even we are working, but also when we're working with something you like it, you don't feel the time.
There's so much to do. It could range from doing just visits out to the fields to holding meetings here, and then you look back and you're like, wow, we did that.
And when the workers learn their rights, there's a big win.
Y esa es una satisfacción enorme, o sea, no podría explicarlo, dijeran, creo que ha servido todo lo que hice, todo lo que pasé, ha servido. Somos el ejemplo.
A lot of the money for the founders, they go to the city, not to the rural areas. And Hamptons is close to Riverhead. And people, they think we have a lot of money, and that's not true. The organizations, they work without money to help their community. I buy the coffee and I buy the donuts and I have the meeting, because that's the only way you can connect it with the people.
A lot of engagement has come from breaking bread with these workers. We've done outreach, and some of that outreach is simply showing them the respect they deserve. I think there's a lot to be done, and funding organizations and partnerships as ours allows us to get out into the community more.